shackle to remind me I'm just a prisoner. Don't let me be a prisoner. Too funky in here. Ow. Give me some air. Open up the window, man. Too funky, funky, funky in here. Too funky in here. Funky the funk, funk, funk the air. Give me some air. Too funky, funky in here. Too funky in here. Woo, woo, woo. Too funky.
All right. So my tribute to the Godfather soul, I did my own version of the big payback. So this is what we're going to give you now, the big payback. Come on. Come on. Gotta get ready. Woo! The big payback. Need some get back. Come on. All right. Gotta get ready. I need to get back. Oh yeah, oh yeah. All right. Gotta get ready for the big payback. All right. Get down with my man. You're hard at the street, you wanna fight. Payback is the thing you got to see. Never do anything to me. Alright, so the other, but you can change. Set my name, like alright. You hand me down, that's a fact. Now you're broke. You gotta get ready for the big payback. Oh
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are across the globe. Welcome to On the Sofa with yours truly, Esther Austin. Well, we finally made it, ladies. And today I am interviewing two incredible women. One is Martha High and the other is Kelly Jarrell. And we are going to be talking about the latest album, Soul Brother, Where Art Thou, Volume 2. And if you don't know who Martha High is, she performed with James Brown. We used to say, Mr. James Brown, for over 32 years. And also I'm going to be finding out more about Kelly Jarrell, because I believe she also performed as well with Mr. James Brown as it is a backing singer. Have I got that right, Kelly? Yes. Fantastic. Okay, so before the gremlins try to creep in anymore, welcome, ladies.
Thank you. It's very nice to be with you again, Esther. It's been a while, but such a pleasure always.
Always. Right, so that people get an idea of who you are. First and foremost, I'm going to go to Kelly Jarrell. Kelly, who is Kelly in a nutshell, in a peanut shell, or coconut shell?
I think Kelly is constantly growing. I'm 61 years old and I am still singing, or I took a pretty big hiatus, a long break, but I'm singing again. And I just like to just tell people how old I am, because I don't think it's ever too late to do what you love and to follow your heart and to live your dream. So.
Oh, fantastic. Yeah, this is going to be an amazing interview. And yourself, Mother High or Miss High. Yeah, just who is Miss High in a nutshell, a peanut shell or a crab shell?
Yes, well, I am Martha High. I used to sing with the Godfather of Soul, Mr. James Brown, for 32 years, and I'm still out there. I'm still hanging in there. As they say, I'm yet holding on. Still performing and recording, and have a new album out. So yes, still being blessed. And as far as singing, Kelly and I doing some things together, we're proud to say. So we'll be hopefully we'll be talking about our new album that we have out.
Fantastic.
Yes.
And you're from the Bittersweets, is that correct, Kelly?
Yeah, so yes, I sang with James Brown from 1993 until 2005 as a member of the Bittersweet, the backing vocals for the James Brown.
And what was that like? Because I know, I've interviewed Martha several times, had the pleasure of interviewing Martha several times. And, yes. You really got a gist of who he is or who he was through who Martha is. Does that make sense? Because of the discipline instilled, because of the work ethics, because of how she performed. So how was that experience for you, Kelly?
Yeah, so definitely the hardest working man in show business and all of that. But even more than that, we really were a family. And all that entails, all the dysfunctionalness, all the fighting and the just all the stuff that happens. But at the end of the day, we all love each other, care a great deal about each other, even to this day. Like Martha and I are great friends, and so happy to have worked on the Soul Brother. We're out there, Volume 2. Let me just tell you that the band, it's all the James Brown band when Martha and I were there, and she sings to me some of the best of all the James stuff. So
thank you. And yourself, Martha, what was it like working on this album for you?
Well, it was a pleasure and an honor, because I was surprised, when Kelly and her partner, Mr. Greg Hester, called me and said that they wanted to know if I was interested in completing this album, because I think about 7 years ago, Kelly, is that correct? 7, 8 years ago, there was a Volume 1 of Soul Brother, Where Art Thou, Volume 1, and Greg Hester is the executive producer of this album, and so it was 7 songs left that did not have the lead vocals or anything on it. And if I'm not mistaken, Greg talked with Kelly and said, you know, like, I want to release these other songs. I wonder who I could get to record the songs, to lead the songs. So he said, so Kelly asked him, says, well, okay, what songs do you have? And he said, Too Funky in Here. She said, Martha, hi. And he said, okay, Get It Together, Martha, hi. So in other words, every song that he named, she called my name, and he said, well, okay, you know, so they agreed to get in touch with me. And when they did, like I said, I was like, oh, wow, yes, I would love to do this. I would love to be a part of this. And so it was a blessing to me, you know, to be able to go back and into our era and do the great songs of the Godfather of Soul, you know, and to have Kelly and Lisa there with me. We had a great time recording together. It was like, you know, bringing back the past, being together. Yeah. So you, just like you said, we're like family, you know, so it was fun. And I think that we did a good job. I really do.
It's interesting. I've listened to the 7 tracks, and you do feel, you know, it's almost like nostalgia. You know, it's got that real nostalgic feel. And I managed to listen to the first 5 predominantly, and I've just put aside next to them what I felt about them. So for Too Funky in Here, it really is a real funk song, you know, and I was doing a workout to it earlier, which is good. And then also Body Heat, that's very, what would I put? Very church, you know, Body Heat, very church. And it's interesting because Body Heat, to associate Body Heat in the same sentence as church, but it was very, very church. And then also Prisoner of Love, I like this. It's very sort of, it has that sort of 50s, sassy feel to it, you know, that sway and that sort of sassiness. And then Forget It Together, that was very James Brown. That I would say that was very James Brown.
Absolutely.
You know, with the beats, you know, remember, I think if I remember correctly, where he used to land on the beats in a certain way, and I can hear that in that particular track. And then what's the other one? What is the other one?
Jam.
There It Is. I think There It Is.
Yes.
Yeah, there it is. I didn't put anything else down for the rest, but for those are what really sort of grabbed me. And like I said, I started listening to it, so I was doing the step, and then broke into like the Running Man. Because they've all got that real funky feel about it. And like you said, you did a really good job in you took me back into that time. And Kelly, you know, working on this album, because you spoke briefly about your time working with James Brown and the connection, you know, as being family, working on this album. But what else did it do for you? I mean, what was the contrast of working together now to working together before, other than, you know, what you've mentioned?
Great question. I am embarrassed to say that I didn't appreciate it when it was happening, not in its music, the musicality. It was, you know, because it being in the band is not a regular job, and then being in the James Brown band with James Brown that's a whole different universe. So kind of revisiting this project and working with Martha and listening to those great harmonies. And I've never been able to get it from any other group, or because it's just its own sound. Like I said, you know, when I was in the band, at one point during, he had to go to different management, and they tried to pare down the band. And, you know, we always had 2 drummers and guitars and lots of big horn section, big background singer section and all that stuff. And he tried to pare it down. And so I was thinking, gee, okay, I guess you could get rid of percussion. You know, that spike, and there's all, and I don't, nowadays I'm so embarrassed that I ever would think that that is something that you could do, because Spike, his contribution to the whole sound, and to I kind of also want to talk about the fact that this incarnation of the James Brown Band, which is the Soul G's, the Soul Generals,
And some of the
never
JVs.
really, they've never really gotten their due, and so this album really highlights the percussion of Spike and just
Excellent.
everybody else. It's just it's just, I'm so proud to have been a part of it.
Excellent. That's really nice that that's been able to happen. Excellent. Excellent. And what was it, Martha? I mean, there were 7 tracks that you did from this album. Which, and it might be a hard question, but okay, which one did you have the most fun doing, and which one was most reminiscent of those?
Yeah, it is hard to say which one, but we do have our favorites. But I am so crazy about Get It Together because it's so funky.
Yeah.
And there it is. Those are my favorites. And
Yes.
I appreciate very much to sing, to do the lead on Prisoner of Love, because that song, I was always mesmerized by Mr. Brown when he did that song, when he would sing Prisoner of Love, because I'm telling you, Prisoner of Love, Try Me, and the way that he sang If I Rule the World, they were just, the way that he sang them, he had so much feelings and so much love for the world, for the people. You could tell, you could hear it in his voice, and so I was very proud to sing Prisoner of Love, and I wanted to try to capture his sound, that era. That instead of trying to sing it my way, I could have sang it another way, but I wanted to get that 60s sound, that feel, because the music was there. The real guys, the JVs, the Soul Generals, the guys that's been performing with Mr. Brown, playing behind him for years, and I don't think there was any of the musicians in that group that can say that they don't know anything about James Brown, or they hadn't been with him for a long time. It was like 10 years or more for everyone, for every band member that played on this album, and so that makes me feel good, because those are the guys, those are the cats that was with them all through the years. So I'm really honored to be able to sing those songs. And like I said, it takes me back, just like you said, it takes you back to when they first came out. It just feels good. They played it just the way that it should have been played. So it was great. It was such a great feeling.
Excellent. And for you, Kelly, what were your whether it's a favorite, or what was the most nostalgic song of that album for you?
I'm like Martha. I have too many number one favorites, so it's a huge tie. But I think, Esther, like you, there's so many that I like to jam to, and like I really felt moved, and you had to get up and dance. So right now it's Body Heat, but it changes. But
Yeah,
good
that
stuff.
happens.
And how has the album been received? What's the feedback from this? Because I've been following you, Martha, on Facebook, and seeing you with your little 2-step, your little 3-step, and I'm like, damn, this woman, she don't stop.
Stop dancing.
But what has been how has the album been received so far? I mean, it only came out, was it the 2nd of September? Is that correct?
Yes. Well, from the comments that I've seen on the medias and everything, it's being very much received in a very good way, a very positive way, because a lot of people are saying that it takes them back, and they can remember when Mr. Brown performed it this way and that way, and they have given us compliments, saying like, thank you for bringing the funky sound back, so that made me feel good, and to know that they're listening. I just hope that others take time to go to the social medias and pull it up, and listen to it, because I think that again, that the band, the fellas got together and they really put their heart and soul in it. And Kelly, Lisa, and I, we just thoroughly enjoyed singing it. So again, we're getting good response from the public, and I hope that they just continue to listen, and the ones that haven't listened, go to the different social medias and pick it up.
Pick it up.
Yes.
And will you be doing any live performances, or have you been, or will you be?
Yes, we have, as a matter of fact, we have a date coming up in December. Lisa, Kelly, and we're going to be performing at a place called the Shays Lounge in Columbia, South Carolina, December the 17th. And we will definitely be performing some of the songs from this album, from Soul Brother, Where Art Thou? So, I mean, I'm telling everybody, get ready, because just like I said, I haven't stopped buck dancing, and we're going to be, we're going to be buck dancing all night long. We're going to have a good time, a funky good time. Absolutely.
A good time. Excellent.
So, yeah, so get it together. Come on out, we're going to tear it up. We're going to tear it up.
Excellent. I hope you got your audible to screw your knees back on afterwards, because and the title, Soul Brother, Where Art Thou? Where did you get how did you come up with the title? Is that like an ode to James Brown, Soul Brother, Where Art Thou?
I could probably answer that a little bit better, because this is volume 2. So Greg Hester, who was the executive producer of both of these, the volume 1 and volume 2, so that was his idea, because it was a tribute to James Brown, and he certainly can never duplicate James Brown. So he had other really great singers give their interpretation of what they, their sound, to how they want to pay tribute to James Brown. But it on both albums, the James Brown band, the JBs, and the Soul Generals were both on this. And also, Esther, you were talking about how can we get a hold of this, and it's on YouTube, and you can download it definitely from Bandcamp, and the link and all that stuff. It's sort of been it's been released on Rope-A-Dope Records, very small label. So things like this interview with you, Esther, is very helpful. Thank you very much.
I always enjoy interviewing Martha. Any chance is like, is she available? Is she ready? Is she back yet?
So thank you. Yeah, spread the word any way that we can. Rope-A-Dope is a great label, but like everything else, the best way to get anything out there is just to talk it up.
Absolutely. And sort of, we've got about 4 minutes left, ladies. So is there anything else around this track, or just a little tidbit that you can share with us about Mr. James Brown himself, because he's left a huge legacy. He's touched so many lives, and he was so different. He owned his space so much. There are just certain people, artists, that you just can't replicate, if that makes sense. So for you, what was it about James Brown that just made him who he was? And I love the way you do a take on Mr. James Brown as well, Martha. So you've got to do that within the next 3 minutes as well.
Well, I just have to say this. These are my girls, and I told them when they get out on their own, I want them to use me. Keep on doing what you're doing.
So we feel, excuse me. We're really honored that we can still be a part of his legacy. Excuse me. And we enjoy, whenever we are performing or something, we continue give props to him, because he created a part of this world of music. Excuse me. And it's just an honor to be able to continue to sing his music, and it's never going to stop, because he has given so much, and has set the pace, and set the pace for to lead other people into the music of funk and soul. And it's been shared by many, many, many people. So it's continuing, and to be able to be a part of this. And just like Miss Kelly said, we're not trying to be him or replicate him. We just appreciate all of the time that we were able to spend with him. He taught us so much. I've learned so much from him about entertainment, and I'm not ever gonna change. Well, I'm not going to change anything that I've learned from him, because it meant so much to me, and it has brought me this far, so I'm very honored, and I'm going to continue to push his music in any way that I possibly can, because he's part of my life.
Yes.
And I don't think there's nothing wrong with having the funk, being, a funky soul singer. I think it's a great
having the funk.
That's right.
And what about you, Kelly? We've got about a minute and a bit left. What about you, my dear?
Well, I just, James Brown on so many different levels was a unique individual. So it's really hard just to sort of say, this is what it was. This is the magic bullet. This is the formula. This is what it takes. He was an enigma. And, I just can't, there was like I don't know if the stars were aligned. It was just the right time in history for him to kind of pull it all together. But I will say that every single time I was ever around him, just his presence was like, there's just certain people in the world that have that kind of magnetism and energy, and just charisma and presence, and got it.
Wow, brilliant. That's brilliant. Thank you. This has been really insightful. It's been, as always, it's been fun. And I'm just wishing you all the very best. And I would love to be there when you perform, because like I said, I was listening. I had it on rewind, when it was records, you sort of
Alone from night to night, you'll find me too weak to break these chains that bind me. I need no shackle to remind me I'm just a prisoner